think Cassie was having a collection.
That was beautiful. I'm proud.
I love that song, picking it out, because just what she says about having ambition and getting in the car and even just getting coffee, it just made me smile, because you need all of that to show up and do real estate and to have a smile on your face and to get your next client, your next lead. So I don't know, it just really resonated with me. So hello, everybody. Welcome to our Monday growth call. You are on here with Cassie, myself, Jennifer Bovey, and we have a guest on today. So Cassie, can you introduce yourself and tell us who we have?
Sure. I am Cassie Sylvester. I'm the Regional Operations Manager for KW New England. I sit out of the West Hartford, Connecticut office. And today we have a very special guest on a growth call. Alumni, can we call you an alumni? I know you.
Sure.
I feel like you've been on from the start. You're a loyal follower. We have Shamaya Rivera out of our Merrimack Valley office with us here today as our guest, and we're very excited to interview her. And I'll let her tell you the rest about herself. So Jen, if you want to kick us off with what we have going on today.
I'm really excited to have you on today and share a lot of your experience that you've had getting into real estate. So would you mind if we just started from when you got started in real estate? What year was that? What did it look like for you?
Sure. Of course. Yeah. So I got my real estate license back in February of 2012 when I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Real estate was a little bit in my family. My older sister used to sell real estate, and my mom worked for a nonprofit organization in the area. For anybody that's in the Merrimack Valley or knows the Merrimack Valley, there's an organization called Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership that does a first-time home buyers training program and gives down payment assistance. So their down payment assistance is a big thing in a lot of the low income communities. And I grew up in Lowell, so that's considered a low income community, and Lowell, Massachusetts. And I graduated from college, and a couple of years later, I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And my sister said, get your license, just get the license. We'll just, it'll be a backup. I did nothing for 3 years. I don't know if anybody else has a similar situation, but in 2015, my sister at the time was married, having a baby, started in a law firm. She was doing all these things, and she said, activate your license and I will teach you everything I know. And I said, okay. I was working a corporate job. Actually, corporate job, I just quit in April of this year. So when I activated my license in 15, all the way to now, I was doing 2 jobs. And so that's my beginning. I guess I could keep talking.
No, that is amazing. And I bet that can resonate with a lot of our friends on here, because, I remember when I got my license back in 2001 and I was working another job myself. So being dual career is definitely a real thing, especially when you first get started into real estate and really don't know where your next paycheck's coming from. So thank you for sharing that. So back in 2012, when you got your real estate license, did you start right at KW?
No, I was working with another brokerage. So when my sister left the business, she went to become an attorney. So she's a real estate attorney. She didn't go very far. She had been working for another local brokerage, smaller, that's only in this area. And when I got the license to begin with, it just made sense. I'm going to work, hang my license at that brokerage. And because I was doing it so part-time, it didn't, to me, this sounds terrible, but I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But over the years, when I would try to learn a little bit more, KW actually kept popping up. So I can tell you a little bit of a funny story about how I came to Keller Williams. So I came to Keller Williams in May 1st of 2020. So it was a long time. So when I think of my active license, it was 5 years of actively selling real estate part-time. And a girlfriend of mine was going to get her real estate license, and she asked me where should she work? And I said, well, here's my brokerage. Obviously talk to my broker, but also Keller Williams. That I kept saying, if I could start over, I wish I'd started at Keller Williams. However, I don't know that I would appreciate Keller Williams as much if I hadn't been somewhere else. So when my girlfriend started at Keller Williams, within 6 months, I was over at KW.
She lured you in with all of.
It wasn't very hard.
Yeah. Okay, so what was one of the biggest challenges you have faced since you got your license?
Ooh, that's a big one. I mean, being dual career, I don't know how many people on the call are dual career, but there were a few times where well, I will also say at that time, when I knew I was going to stay dual career, I didn't think I was going to quit my job yet. I was working for another brokerage. So I will say one of my struggles was that I didn't have the kind of support that Keller Williams provides, training wise, even just people in the office. When I started to make the transition over, even that took me 3 months. I guess everything takes me a while. They immediately brought me into the fold, even though I wasn't a KW agent yet. And I think it's a lot of the culture of our office, which is come to our meetings, get to know the people that work here. And I was with another brokerage active for 5 years and felt more connected to my KW people within weeks than 5 years of working part-time for another brokerage, even knowing that I was only going to be part-time is how I thought about it. So that was a big challenge for me, was making sure that I had support and training. And I had my sister, but obviously she was running her own law firm. So
Right.
that, she was doing something huge too. She still is. Yeah, so I think that's so a lot of the support.
All right, cool. So can you share with us one of your biggest wins that you've had since you've been at KW maybe?
Oh yeah. Well, so a huge win. I got a big listing in Lowell, and through a referral from another client of mine. And so I will say, for anybody, whether you're newer or you've been doing this forever, the people that already know you and you've already worked with, they really are the best resource. You can pay for all the ads in the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel like you need more leads, there's nothing wrong with, paying for ads and going and buying them and then turning those people into friends and clients. But my biggest client, my biggest sale, I just closed 2 weeks ago in Lowell, just under $1 million in volume, 985. That felt like such a huge win. Like I couldn't believe that I sold a house like that. But years later, and it came from a referral from somebody that has known me for years.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I'll give you guys a quick, I don't know, sneak peek or here into what we have coming up in the next few weeks. One of the things we're going to be working on with our entire region is the Race to 201. Has anybody heard that yet? The 201 Club.
I was going to share the same secret information, Jen.
Oh, you were? So we're on the same page, because
Exactly.
it's big stuff, and it goes right along with what Shami just said. The Race to 201 is if you have 201 contacts in your database or database, whatever you call it, and you systematically connect, whether it be the 4 quarterly calls or 33 touch, if you connect with them systematically, regularly, you will have a gross income of $119,000 for the year. Now, I know what you're saying. I have more than 201. So think about what that GCI will look like. So what our initiative is going to be, guys, and you guys are hearing it first, is the Race to 201. I'm sure a lot of you have more than 201 in your database, but we're going to get purposeful with it. We're going to make sure every single person in our region is grossing over 119,000 this year. Is everybody okay with that? You okay with that? We want you to make more than that, but we're going to start there. How's that? Okay. All right. So back to what we were talking about. Sorry, I got really excited about that because that led right into it. Okay. What is one piece of advice or uniqueness about the way you run your business that you could share with the group?
Well, one of the things that I will share, it's a little different now when I finally quit my corporate job in April 1 of this year, April 1st of this year. And that was also funny. People are like, April Fool's Day, really? That's when you quit your job and went real estate full time, but what can you do? I tried to make jokes about it, but it was real. I really did it. And so when I was dual career, a big thing that really helped me staying connected with my real estate business is instead of trying to do all the things, right? Even realtors who do this full time, if you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing because you get overwhelmed. A confused mind does nothing. I focused on doing one thing And and that was before I knew what the one thing was. I hadn't read Gary Keller's book, but I actually have a daily list of things, and on it still to this day is one thing today that is going to improve my real estate business, be beneficial for my real estate business. And again, I hadn't even read the one thing back then, but whether it was contact a client or, make one post, it was supposed to be something, not just update somebody in, my database, but actual, something that was going to move my real estate business forward. I think that's how I have it written. Actually, I did one thing today that moves my real estate business forward. And that was instrumental to helping me when I was dual career, especially.
Well, I think that is such great advice, and I hope everybody wrote that down. Do you have a success list that you prioritize and do one thing today that is going to get you closer to your business goals? I mean, that advice right there is like a mic drop, and we should end the call, but we have more. So don't leave. We have a lot more to go. So what I could say is that you were in one of the classes that Brooke and I taught in Connecticut. And it was 6 Personal Perspectives, which is one of my all-time favorite classes to teach and be a part of. One of the things that I absolutely remember about you being in that class was that you had a saying of financial freedom. I believe that's what it was.
Oh, I'm going to be job optional by the time I'm 45. I said job optional, and like 6 people in the class were like, oh, like that's such a cool thing, because, I'm not saying I'll never sell another house again. Obviously, I'm growing this business, and, never say never. But by the time I'm 45, which it's okay. I'll share my age. I'm 34. I'm giving myself 11 and a half more years to be job optional, meaning that I want my real estate business, my residual income, my profit share. I own a multifamily. I want to own another one. So income from all these different places to be as residual as possible, so that I can enjoy the life I've built, in my youth. And I will say, some of the biggest reasons, my mom's in her 60s and she's talking about working part-time, and all she wants to do in her 60s is enjoy her grandchildren. I don't have any kids, but my siblings all do. And I've got an adorable 7-month-old nephew who may have been on the growth call before, because sometimes I help babysit him, and that's all she wants to do. And I see that. And, my older sister with her, she's an attorney. She works so hard and it's amazing. I don't want to work that hard. I'm working hard now, so I don't have to work that hard later.
I love that. So did you guys write that down?
Job optional. So I'm going to be job optional by the time I'm 45, which is 6/22/2033. I write it down every day. I know exactly. I have a number. I want $2.7 million at that point in the bank. I have very specific numbers, and I've been writing that down for a couple of years now, every day.
Amazing is all I have to say about that. And it's funny. It kind of goes along. I don't know if you follow Mel Robbins. Anybody else follows Mel Robbins in here? She posted something about vision boards the other day. Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but tell me.
What she said was everybody puts on their vision boards, own a mansion, a waterfront property, a boat, a big watch, a this, all the glamorous things on your vision. Anybody do that before? A vision board where you put like all the things? She said, stop doing that. She said, because what you're visioning is something that is not happening right now, and it's a long way to go, and you can't vision how to get there. Instead of doing a vision board with all the big fancy things, put a vision board of all the hard things you have to do to get to your vision board, or those things. And you know what you're saying, like, reminds me of that. You have all of the hard things you have to do to get to that end result of being job optional at 45. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else before we jump to we have really good content for this week as well. So
I'm excited. Thank you for having me and interviewing me today. This was fun.
Thank you for being here. So if you have a story and you'd like to be one of our guests on our call, please email Cassie at KLRW17@kw.com. She's putting it in the chat because I messed that up.
So close.
Yes.
It's in the chat. Go to that one. Don't go to the one Jen just told
Whatever
you.
I just said.
ARG17@kw.com. Jen, I just want, Shemay, thank you so much for sharing everything that you just did. I literally have 4 notes written down that I want to share with everybody real quick before we jump from everything that like popped up in my head. So Jen, you mentioned the race to 201. So like she said, I'm so sorry Brooke's not here with us today. She'll be back next week, but she is working on this amazing, like, plug and play, super simple program. So whether you have over 201 in your database already or you don't, it's for everybody to participate. And like Jen mentioned, it's a really simple way to get at least 201 people set up on a very specific, easy plug and play plan to start having that database give you some real return. If you're like, oh, I don't have anyone in my database, or I've really been trying to clean that up, a lot of you have probably heard of it, especially if you've been in Bold, but the DTD2, I think, is just such a super simple way to get started with your database and make it a lot less overwhelming. So I'm going to throw that. It's just, you basically go through your database by last name and you pick like 2 letters a week. So I'm going to throw that in the chat for you. You can go ahead and download that. And then Shimei, the one thing that you shared about the one thing, I love when people apply that to classes too. Like, you come on a call like this, you're on a call, a meeting, at a training, find one thing from that call, from that training, that you're going to go ahead and implement in the future to make sure that the way that you're spending your time is creating action for your business. Natalie in the chat, she said she's currently dual career, and this gives her hope since she's just getting started. So I think that's awesome. Thank you, Natalie, for joining us. Continue to stay on. And Tiffany Hampton is our regional productivity coach, and she is on our call today. And I'm going to let her plug. We have actually dual career sessions that she's hosting regionally. So I'm going to let you talk about that for a quick second, Tiffany.
Absolutely. So the second Tuesday of every month from 6 to 7:30, and the third Saturday of every month. And once we get momentum going, where a significant amount of people are showing up, we will add to that. This Saturday, we're going to have a scavenger hunt where we're going to schedule. So those that are full-time agents in the productivity program, this past Tuesday, we did a scavenger hunt where we went out and got business. So we're going to introduce that to the dual career. I also put in the chat a step 1 memory jogger, which comes from Bold. So if you're looking for who should be in your database, that'll help you as well.
Thank you, Tiffany. And I just dropped the dual career info in the chat as well. There's a flyer on that. You can grab that if you're interested. All right, Jen.
So much good stuff today. So much good stuff. All right. Why don't we share the screen and go over what we have for tomorrow's post. I love this one. Once we get there. Yep, there it is. How many of you look in your mailbox and get super excited to go get it? None of us, right? Yeah, none of us, except Cassie, because she gets cards.
I don't know why, but like, I love going to the mailbox every day, and like most days it's junk and I hate it, but like, you just never know what's in there. It's a fun surprise.
I'm so the opposite. I get it like once a week and my mailman hates me because I open it up and my mail is all like just too much mail in there. And there's usually one good thing, if that. So here we are for tomorrow's post. And Cassie, you might have to help me with this because I'm on my my laptop. So it says, it's time for happy mail. I love getting notes from friends, family, and clients in the mail, and I'd love to send some smiles your way. So in this post, you're going to be able to, what is it doing? Anybody want to share what we're doing here?
Action item. Mofer.
It's a mofer, right? And you're getting their information, like you're actually getting it from them, and they're getting excited about it because you're sending them something cool that will make them smile. But make sure, please send them a note that makes them smile. Don't get their information and not send them anything, because that's over promising and under delivering, and we don't like to do that. So collect their information, use it for your business. Okay. Oh, and by the way, there's a Google form right there. That's the link and the directions for how to get their information. Anything else on that, Cassie, that I missed?
No, I think you nailed it.
Okay, cool. You want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So Wednesday, November 16th, can't believe we're halfway through November already. I feel like it was just November 1. Who inspires you? Is it someone in your life, or is it someone who is famous, maybe an author, actor, or athlete? Tag them and thank them with a quick message of why they inspire you. And then we have our hashtags in there as well. We're continuing with a theme of gratitude for Thanksgiving month. Yeah. So I think that's simple. You can throw that in there and then go ahead and in the comments yourself, put who inspires you. Or you could even add a photo of that person instead of this graphic, however you want to jazz it up yourself if you want to.
Just think about one person who inspires you and try not to smile. I see some.
I was gonna say, like, being in of course, there's so many people like in our own personal lives, and then being in a company like this on top of it, like every day there's someone new you run into who's inspiring.
Absolutely. Gary Keller is probably, like, I would put Gary Keller. I know that sounds silly, but the stuff that comes out of Gary is so inspiring and so spot on that it's hard not to get inspired by what he says. And I'm just proud to be a part of a company that has a leader that, I mean, I went on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook that often, but I went on today, and he put a little post on. It was so spot on, and I can't remember it. I wish I could, but it was just so spot on about what we focus on and what we need to focus on. Anyway, that's just mine. Anybody have one that they want to drop in the comment?
Yeah, put it in the comments. Who inspires you? I'll share today. Each week we have a national leaders growth call as well, from KWRI. And every week they have somebody on who shares a cultural story. And today the gentleman, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he is down there during Hurricane Ian. He lives down there, and the way he shared his story about how he's helped pretty much every single day since the hurricane hit, what he's doing to help all of his neighbors, all of it's just so inspiring.
So that definitely was a tearjerker. It was, yes.
For
I
sure.
don't know how many of you were on that call, but it was emotional.
All right. Thursday, you want it, Jen, or you want me to take it?
You know what? We could both talk about this one, because how many of you are excited for Thanksgiving?
I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I see hands popping up as quickly as they can go. So Turkey Day is coming up soon. And, I don't know if this is the biggest debate in Thanksgiving, or if it's the football, or if it's.
I mean, we had last week's, right, with the apple and pumpkin pie, which was not even contested on this call, which was shocking. Football is always a big day for Thanksgiving in terms of, like, some good rivalries playing that day as well. We have not me personally, but we have a Cowboys Giants household on Thanksgiving Day, basically, where like half the people there are Giants fans and half the people are Cowboys fans. And it's just always a crazy day.
You know what, Shamaya, we forgot to mention that you have been using the content from the growth call for a very long time. As Cassie said, you're one of our alumni, honorary alumni. So I see that you put that you got a lot of responses from that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I post the growth call content on Facebook and Instagram every single week. I've had agents in my office say, oh, but if everybody's posting the same thing, but my response is that my clients shouldn't really be following you anyway. They should be following me. I'm their realtor, right? And so a lot of the agents, they get nervous because they see other agents posting the same thing, but that's because you're all friends with each other and you're all following each other's pages, which is normal for agents to do. So that's just my one thing, my caveat of post them, because, and even if someone sees a similar post from somebody else, so what? So when I posted that last week, I post pretty regularly on my social media. I got 10 comments, which to me feels like a lot. 10 actual comments, of people commenting on there, and some of them didn't pick apple or pumpkin, some picked pecan, homemade apple pie or no dessert, apple pie all year round.
Good conversation though, right?
Yeah. And what I need to go is now tag my contacts to make sure
there you go. There you go. There's your action. There's your action today.
Thank you.
All right. So back to this one, right? This is about the kids table and adults table. I'm just going to give you my response really quickly. It is, I like to be at the kids table. If you can't tell them, I like the kids.
We're like one big table. It's a really long table, but it's still I get to choose who sits where every time. So it's like all of our parents down at one end and then everyone around my age or a little younger at the other end. And it's still like a little, it's
Is your
table
age-
versus.
is your age like the break, like the adults go to the left? of
Yeah,
you and
we have
all
like a couple that's like 10 years older and then like and lower. And I don't want to be part of their, I don't want to be part of their conversations anyways, and they don't want to be part of ours. So it's totally fine.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, what do you guys think? Are you at the kids' table, the adults' table, or do you combine yours? Mine is one long table as well, but I would prefer having the children conversations over the adults for Thanksgiving. We adult too much.
We have 2 tables and I sit between the two.
I'm not surprised there.
I love it, Karina.
The gatekeeper between both. I love it.
Mine combines and they have chaos. It's so fun. I would love to like be able, I mean, I love my family and we have so much fun on Thanksgiving, but I'd love to like just go to other people's houses on holidays every once in a while and just see what they do, to celebrate.
Yeah. All right. Well, Cassie, we're at the end of our call, yet we still have time to pick a winner. Is it a one winner day?
It is a one winner day. And we don't have the link out there. I'm waiting to confirm a couple of details before signups are out there. But what we do have today is a ticket to our One Thing training with Shannon Selig taking place on December 7th. So put that in your calendars. I'll put the details in the chat in a second. That's going to be out of our Beverly, Massachusetts office. So it's fairly central for most of the region. And that is going out to our winner today, who is out of our Signature Properties office out in Norwell. Sharon G. Sharon, are you on? If you're here, come off mute. Say hi.
Hello, I'm
Hi,
Sharon.
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited.
So I will connect with you on the details and make sure we can get you there. And that's all I have, Jen.
All right. I do see Barbara's question in the chat, and they did Facebook did make some sort of change with that, and we'll connect you with Brooke just to make sure that she could help you with that. And I believe there is a response right there. So thank you. Okay. Anything else, Cassie?
I'm just going to put the One Thing training in the chat. We don't have our second tech portion with Brooke today, unfortunately. So make sure to jump on next week with us.
Yes, this is the end of today's call. Next week, we'll be continuing the hour-long call. First half is this, second half is tech. So have a great rest of your week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.